Welcome back. You're with us, and it's been a very, very earnings-heavy weekend, which is why we're still going over some of the major hits and misses. One number that worked very well on the street was SBI Card. The company has reported a better than expected first quarter, despite, of course, a lot of the macro headwinds and the COVID-related issues. Most brokerages have come out with the optimistic commentary as well. So let's bring in Nimesh to get a roundup. Nimesh, what were the highlights you picked up?
Well, so the key highlight from the SBI Cards, quarter one was that despite the headwinds, the numbers were strong. And that's the reason why most of the brokerages have either maintained or increased their target price and multiples for SBI Card. So I'll start with Credit Suisse. They have an outperform rating with a target price of 1200. They believe that they expect slippages to moderate and credit slippages and credit costs to moderate, and that's the reason why they expect the FY22 ROAs to be close to 6%. So that's Credit Suisse. Even Morgan Stanley has an overweight stance with a target price of 1200. They believe that after recent underperformance and with the fintech theme picking up, SBI Card should do well and outperform in the near term. So that's the call from Morgan Stanley. Even JP Morgan has an overweight stance with a target price of 1200 rupees. Even they believe that the numbers were quite strong given the headwinds, and from here on, things should only improve and numbers will look good in the future quarters. So that's the reason why even they have an overweight stance. The most aggressive on the street on SBI Card seems to be Bernstein. They have an outperform rating with a target price of 1330. So most of the brokerages are expecting strong quarters going forward for SBI Cards. And with the fact that fintech as a theme is picking up, you should expect SBI Cards to outperform. And hence you're seeing a 5% move on SBI Cards post quarter one numbers today.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Nimesh, very much for giving us the full roundup on that. Sanjeev, we've discussed the banks, the lenders. Now, what about something like SBI Card? Again, a very differentiated business, always carried a bit of a premium with it even when it listed. How do you view the stock and the performance now?
Well, it's been the year of SBI. All the subsidiaries, whether it's SBI Life or the cards or the bank itself, are doing extremely well. And like you rightly put it out, this is the time of fintech. SBI Card is seeing huge market share gains. And in the near term, the imbroglio with MasterCard has put little pressure on the likes of RBL. But here, as a disclosure, I think RBL fits the bill perfectly. They will be this 8 weeks which they are hibernating from there to Visa. But being in the top 5 business, I think credit card is the best business to be in. So I would again say that hold on to SBI Life, but please add RBL because that will give you a real run for money over the next 1 year.
Okay, Sanjeev, I wanted your thoughts on a couple of earnings reaction from the market today. One is United Spirits, that's down 4%, and the other is Navin Fluorine, which is down 6%.
So Anuj, as a disclosure, we were very bullish on United Spirits around the 550 level when the lockdown effect of the second wave was at its peak. The stock has run up 30% from there, and you've seen profit taking. But I think that company is going to do extremely well. So we think that this is a stock which can easily even surpass 1,000 rupees in the next 2 years. And that is something you must have in your portfolio. On Navin Fluorine, I think the best of chemicals may be already getting priced in. So you have to be a little cautious over there.
Okay, got that. Just stay on. We'll have some more questions for you. But in the meantime, we also have the Symphony management joining us. Now, Symphony, of course, came out with the first quarter performance where if you look at it optically year on year, it's a big increase. But we know that last year, first quarter was a lockdown. On a normalized basis, it seems it's been a bit of a struggle. Rupesh Shah, Executive Director of the company, is joining in. Mr. Shah, thanks for joining in. That's exactly first what we want to understand. How would you compare your first quarter with a normalized Q1, maybe of 2018 or 2019? That will help us understand the distance from normalcy.
No, certainly vis-a-vis normal quarter, whether we take 2019 or 2018, it's not up to the mark. And comparison vis-a-vis June 20 quarter is not a fair comparison. Having said that, unfortunately, second wave stuck in April and May. And until middle of April, the demand and buoyancy was so much. Our complete focus was how to maximize the production, And the challenge was for each of the model, whatever can be produced maximum, that was the mandate given to operation team starting February end. And putting up the proof is actually in the numbers of March 21 quarter. in which we registered on a console basis highest ever top line, highest ever profitability.
Okay.
However, on account of restrictions, it has impacted severely.
Okay, so Mr. Shah, it's more important to now talk about the future and to see to what extent you've managed to bounce back, because most parts of India are open, if not fully, at least partially. So on a full year basis, assuming and praying that there is no massive disruption of a third wave, what should we expect in FY21, both on the top line itself and also on margins, because we've been talking about this huge unprecedented commodity price push. So, you know, are margins under threat this year?
So one, assuming there is no disruption, then FY22 should be far better than FY21, despite there is year-end and summer inventory with the trade. In fact, if there is no disruption, we can look year as a whole, maybe in line with 18-19, which was a normal year. And there are a couple of reasons for that, on account of many initiatives, including massive dealer distribution network expansion, especially in the rural and semi-urban market, host of new product launch, whereby there is a generation gap between Symphony products and peer products. On account of that, there is a pricing power, and we have also undertaken major value engineering and cost reduction. And hence, we expect on a standalone sales basis, that is the sales in India, our gross profit margin for year as a whole should be back to 50%, which is in line with earlier years. And this is after accounting for all the input cost increase as well as freight cost increase.
Okay, well, Mr. Shah, we'd love to chat a little longer, but then this is the closing show, so we are a little limited on time, but perhaps we'll call you back for a more detailed conversation and understand the business mechanics a little better over the next few weeks. Thanks for joining in. So there we have it. That's Symphony talking about how they're hoping that if things don't go out of whack once again in the third wave, then they will get back to some semblance of normalcy, levels comparable to 2019 is what he's talking about. Sanjeev, so before we let you go, you know, that's why we held you back. I wanted to get your thoughts on companies like Symphony. I don't know if you track this stock or not, but, you know, its peers, the whole consumer durables basket, and whether you'd look at picking anything right now.
So, you know, on your channel, I've been with Anuj, I suggested at 985, 990 to do a sip in Havells. I know the management, Havells has been a huge outperformer. Their margins have increased and they've increased the prices. So in the consumer electrical, both Havells and Voltas fit the bill for even more upside. The stock has hit a new near-term high of 1140. So look for declines to buy that. But, you know, Surabhi, if I could suggest 3-4 names just to leave your viewers, I think the ARPUs have bottomed out, and Bharti has been one of my contrarian plays from 525. I think there is a huge amount of upside in all the telecoms. So Bharti and Reliance would be my top picks. Maruti is going to come out with the best numbers as far as volumes go. And I think that these three stocks on the large caps in the Nifty are very, very well poised. ZTV is looking very good on the digitalization and their new entry on the, you know, on the Dish TV side, which is that their Z5. That is seeing a lot of traction. And like I said, banks like Can Bank, Bank of Baroda and IDFC. And just to leave you with a thought which seems little despairing is Zomato is trading at 2.5 times Bandhan Bank, which happens to be the fastest growing bank over the last 8 years. So take it with a pinch of salt. If some stocks are giving you the opportunity, don't miss it. Don't miss the wood for the trees. I think microfinance is here to stay, and I can put a lot of faith in the management of Bandhan.
Okay, Sanjeev, we will leave it there today. Thanks.